Super Troops are 70% off right now, and I got a tip for you guys for all 14 Super Troops. And let's start with Super Barbarians. These guys unfortunately don't have a lot of use in game right now. They're just not seeing a lot of play, but one thing you can do is you can use them with the rage ability to get like little corner buildings like this taken care of with a little funnel. I mean, it's not something that's super practical, but it is a tip that you can use the Super Barbarians for. Next up is the Super Archers, and we're starting to see the Super Archers being used more and more inside of Super Archer blimps. You go ahead and you run in some Super Archers, you use an invisibility spell, let all the trash clear out of there, and then you clone them up and just keep them invisible, and they'll just do some massive damage to all of these surrounding buildings. You can get things like the Monolith out, you can get the Eagle out, and you could really just set up the entry for the rest of your attack with a Super Archer blimp. And I've seen people using the blimp with 4 archers and like 2 goblins, or 3 archers, 6 goblins, and 4 wall breakers. So that's how you use the Super Archers right now. Super Giants are another troop that are seeing not a lot of play right now, but you can throw them inside of a Yeti blimp just to help secure the town hall. So you're going to use it just like you would use a normal Yeti blimp. We're going to go ahead and send that blimp in for the town hall, try to work around this invisibility, and just try to make sure we secure the town hall. Once that town hall gets activated, obviously the giant will target onto the town hall, so it'll just add a little bit of beefiness in front of those Yetis and just ensure that you grab that town hall. Again, not super practical, but the Giants just aren't seeing a lot of play right now. Another tip that may have some potential is to pair them with Electro Titans to help beat through walls, but this is just something I haven't tested personally. Next up, we have the Swiss Army Knife, the Sneaky Goblin. What can't these guys do? You can easily farm with them, just throwing them out there on those resources buildings, get them down, and easy loot. But you can also easily take down town halls with the Sneaky Goblins, making these guys super useful in Clash of Clans. Using invisibility, get that town hall down, no problem. But here's my tip for the Sneaky Goblins. If your opponent has a clan castle that's on the outside of the base, or that you can even reach with a jump really quickly, you can use 4 or 5 Sneaky Goblins and take this clan castle down before any troops come out of it. Then you don't have to deal with those clan castle troops at all. So something to keep in mind if you see a clan castle on the outside of the base. Use sneakies to take it out before the clan castle troops come out. And next up, we have Super Wall Breakers. These guys are obviously going to break through walls and be really useful, but one thing I like to use these guys for, say I bring one too many extra wall breakers at the end of the raid, if a building took a little bit of damage earlier in the raid, you can actually get it down sometimes. What I like to do is I'll just throw a wall breaker towards something that was damaged, and bam, just like that, we take that archer tower that was damaged earlier in the raid out with a super wall breaker. So they're not only for breaking walls, they can damage those surrounding buildings, especially towards the end of an attack. Use a few rocket loons to take buildings out on the corner. We can get to this archer tower, and then we can back up and go ahead and get to that air defense. That way we don't have to worry about it if we want to use like an electro dragon to funnel over here, or just set up some pathing for later. Throwing super wizards inside of a clan castle with a blimp, a rage, and some invisibilities can be super effective. This is a technique known as blizzard, and you're going to usually use some loons or a hound out in front, and then send your blimp in, and you can go ahead and get things like town halls down. We're going to go ahead and drop in an invisibility, rage up, and then we're going to use these invisibilities about every 4 seconds or so to go ahead and get this town hall down. Don't be afraid to count this out loud. I know some people get embarrassed of that, but it's better to count and get as much value out of this as possible. That way you can get this down. We just got a Town Hall 14 down with a Town Hall 13, and no problem. For Super Dragons, I like to use them kind of like I would with like E-Drags. Just kind of throw them all in the spot here, get them working through, rage them up, and then send in that blimp and hit that Warden ability, and then just kind of let them work. Use those spells to kind of support them, but kind of think of Super Dragons how you do Electro Dragons. They're going to work pretty similarly and be pretty effective on similar style bases, but I like these Super Dragons quite a bit. They did take a little bit of a nerf, so we don't see them as much these days, but against the right bases, Super Dragons can be very effective. My tip for the Inferno Baby Dragons is going to be to pair them with skeleton spells. That's right, guys, it seems a little bit awkward, but the skeleton spells can provide some tanking for these Inferno Baby Dragons as they work through a base. And it's similar with the Super Dragons. Just want to make sure you get that Town Hall down, but those skeleton spells will provide the proper tanking. Use your freeze spells as needed, and then these Baby Dragons will work through there. They're also pretty annoying on defense as well. My tip for the Super Minions is going to be running them them on defense. Run them in your defensive CC, especially at the lower town halls. I mean, they're really annoying at 14 and 15, but at town hall 11, going to queen charge and super minions pop out, it's really annoying. So like I mentioned, maybe this is like CWL type situation. We're going 11v12, which is really common in CWL, but we're thinking we could just queen charge out this town hall and have no issues. Well, the big issue is when those super minions pop out of here, they're just gonna be such a nuisance. And if you don't keep your queen rage and keep these guys poisoned, look how much damage gets dealt to that queen, and she dies through ability. Super minions are no joke on defense at the lower town halls. Our next tip is for the Super Valkyrie guys, and this tip is don't use them. They're just not practical right now. The Valkyries just are so uncontrollable. Unless you're like a highly skilled, highly professional player, Super Valkyries most of the time aren't going to work out for you, and with 40 housing space, they're just not super practical in my opinion. We're going to lump Super Witches and Super Bowlers together here. We're going to use them as a smash attack. This is their best use, and these guys are seeing a lot of play right now, especially the Super Bowlers. Throw in your Warden, start that Warden walk through here, throw in your Flame Flinger, get your Flame Flinger working, and you're basically just going to create a funnel so you can work all your troops up the middle of the base. Makes a lot of sense, right guys? And then when you throw them all in, throw all those troops together so that they'll aggro onto the eagle and have that eagle target them so you can start working through with those troops working in. So we're going to go ahead and allow this to work through here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get our ice golem going here momentarily. We'll get this baby dragon going right there. We'll get our king going right here with a couple witches. And then again, we're going right in here, getting all those super bowlers in, getting that queen in, using our spells right up the middle of this base. We're going to go ahead and we're going to freeze that rage. We're going to go ahead and drop in a rage of our own and then jump through here and just keep everything working through the middle of the base and we'll be fine. We didn't do a good job protecting the Warden ability again, but again, just use those spells and just work up the middle of these bases here, guys, and you should have a lot of success with the smash attacks. Not one that I'm using a lot of right now, but I know that it can be very effective. I've seen it effective. I've seen it on the top of push leaderboards even. And then for the Ice Hound guys, run Ice Hounds on defense. These guys can be really annoying on a defensive clan castle. So we're going to go ahead and run the Ice Hound right in here. And when it pulls out, if they're using something like a Blizzard or a Super Archer Bomb in there, it's really just going to be a pain in the neck for them, because if their archers lock on, the archers are just going to be stuck on the Hound for a while. But if they don't lock on, then they got to deal with it, and it just takes forever, and time's already ticking away. So check this out. So the Hound's going to come over here, and it's just going to be a real nuisance, right? Like, not a big deal, but now, like, you have to deal with this Hound with the queen or however you deal with it, and it's just really a pain in the neck, and it's going to slow it down, especially if you encounter this in the middle of a base. We're going to pull it off to the side right here, and just with one archer tower on this queen, just look, it's just such a nuisance. Once that Ice Hound starts slowing this queen down, it is just such a problem. And if you don't have a poison, which we're seeing less and less poison right now with Electro Titan attacks and stuff, it can be a real problem. So I like the Ice Hounds on defense. On offense, they're okay, but like, you have to get the timing right, and it just can be a real nuisance. But with this, like, we get this queen down, we force out ability. Yeah, we could have, like, you know, brought a poison, we could have you know, used a baby dragon there, but I just wanted to show you guys that the Ice Hound can be really annoying on defense, and that's my tip for the Ice Hound. So there you have it, guys, a tip or even 2 tips for all of the super troops in Clash of Clans. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. You guys have a great day. Keep on clash mashing.